Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly show all about the shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg and this is...
No witty nickname, Matt Strange.
So if you're watching on Twitch, you will have noticed that there is another video. We might have made a little bit of a mistake and the streaming recording software wasn't working. So we will attempt this again. As you may have noticed, there's only two of us this week.
No Mo.
No Mo.
Take your steroids, Mo. You're ill. Take your steroids. Yum them up like Brian Cage with his breakfast. He's not well. He's got an ear thing. It's balanced off. Get well, Mo.
Yeah, get well, Mo.
Steroids. This is a wrestling podcast.
He certainly should be watching this if he can be right now.
If he's a good friend.
So, this might be the first time you've watched us or listened to us. Hello to another TV viewer on Twitch. We've got a viewer. This might be the first time. So, and as such, you may need to know that we have a tier list, which is how we give the individual reviews for the matches of Dynamite and Rampage and the overall scores for Dynamite and Rampage. I'm very sorry, Mr. Strange. I haven't had a chance to watch Rampage this week, so you're flying solo on that.
Watch the last match.
I'm sorry. It's only because
the last goddamn match.
Anyway, time for you to explain the tier list, and this time it'll work, and I won't stop you partway through it.
Hooray! Tier list, letters, star system, computer games. You know what it is. We work up in letters from bad to good. D is shitty. The plot section didn't get the guy over. The promo was bad. The wrestling match is boring. It was a squash. We didn't care. The story wasn't there. It was filled with botches. D, shit. C is a good segment. The promo was good. We know who the character is. The wrestling match is solid enough. We enjoyed it. We know why they're in the ring. We see the character work. They go and we're happy, but it hasn't blown our minds. B, match +1 or promo +1. The promo is tight, cool, badass, lets you know who they are or where the story's going. The match is good. Better in the ring. You watch it all the way through. You see some cool stuff. They don't botch. You've got story in, story out. You liked it very much. B, A, amazing, awesome. Everything is great. The promo segment features fucking Jericho's dogs chasing drones or some shit. The characters really get over. You learn who they are. You learn where their story arc is. You learn what's going on. The match, you care why they're in the ring. You care what's happening at the finish. The match has cool things that you've never seen before. The pace is good. The heel doesn't just stomp them for the entire break. And then when the break ends, the fucking face takes his senzu beans and flies back to win. We break some paradigms, you know. A, very good. S, Sugoi, superior. Ninjas, luchadors, undead wizards, bikers, evil clowns teleporting Lance Catamaran into the NWO. Not just that, just great segments that stick with you. Fucking Orange Cassidy versus Pac. Fucking phenomenal. We see things that break our paradigms, break expectations, convey us a bunch of emotions. We know why everybody's there, so it's phenomenal. So D, shitty. C, good. B, very good. A, amazing. And S, just fucking the best shit in the world where you dance around in circles and Dave Meltzer hurls himself out of the window into a pile of fucking stars on it. There we go. Boom.
Right, so, as always, move on to the news. And we're kicking off with our one piece of news that could have been a scoop for us last week. This dropped.
Oh, we were so close.
Minutes before we got together for our pre-show. So over to you, Mr. Strange. You've got the details on this.
Shocking news, everybody. Fresh off the presses. None of you have heard this. Completely unknown. Cody's contract's over. His and Brandy, they have left the AEW. There are many rumors of at least one of them going to the enemy, WWE, returning across the bridge.
He has also hinted today about retiring.
Right. So, there's two possible thoughts and outcomes on this. One, this is real, he's quit, he's gone to the WWE, and all of the things I've said over the last few months of either this is shit and Cody's a narcissist and he can't deal with what's going on. It's true, and I was right, and that's awful. Or two, It's a work, brother. And if he's continuing this fucking 9D chess gig of work, they said they were going to do things that have never been done before. If he's working us to such a mega level, he's going through media and all this sort of stuff, it will be a phenomenal attempt to rebirth kayfabe in a new generation to keep mystery going, because that's one of the issues with wrestling, especially if your entire life dream is just to be your dad, Dusty Rhodes. If he has just jumped ship because he couldn't get enough pay and he can't deal with the booing, I will have more opinions.
I don't. So apparently, there's also rumour that backstage in AEW is a little bit. Some people are a little bit happier with him going and all kinds of things. So yeah,
I saw all the reports from Keller. Is it Keller? Wade Keller, I think they were saying. I saw a bunch of people saying, wrestlers on Twitter saying Wade Keller's reports are bullshit, but that could just be people who got on with Cody. I don't like dirt cheap news, but there was somebody on 4chan saying they were a wrestler from AEW and it was bullshit and Cody's cool, which is about as reliable as anything said from a guy who works somewhere else. So, 2 wrestlers on 4chan, probably, if they are real, I know Max Caster posts on there, said it's bullshit, and all of the main media stuff is saying Wade Killer says this.
Okay. So moving on from news, social media.
Other than Cody Rhodes, Cody. Little ties into news as well. This week on Impact, we had God. The Gorillas of Destiny, the tag team of Tamatonga and Tamaloa from NJPW, fighting the Good Brothers, obviously original Bullet Club alumni. In Impact, where Jay White, who we're going to be speaking a little bit more about this week, showed up, betrayed God, kicked them out of Bullet Club, work with the Good Brothers, who obviously we know are tied to the Bucks in the overall arc. So the MCU of wrestling is growing again. I was using Tama as my reference for the Forbidden Door when all this shit started, 6 months ago? Because he's very active on the old Twitter, is the good guy. So, yeah, we might get... Bullet Club might be trying to make a big multi-company resurgence.
I think that'd be great. If all these 3 companies are on the same page, which they appear to be, even if they're in different angles of being on the same page. So, for example, I think New Japan and Impact seem to have some kind of deal. There's certainly talks between New Japan and AEW and AEW. I don't know if all 3 of them are in talks. They could be on the quiet, but there does seem to be the 3 different. So they could be doing something.
NJPW was mad with AEW because obviously they just fucking took a bunch of their best stars and then basically went, They get on with Impact. But a lot of people in NJPW get on enough with people in AEW that we've had your crossovers with Mox, which I really enjoyed. However, as somebody who 18 months ago fucking loved NJPW, it's gone. It's had a rough year as the old NJPW, a rough 2 years to be honest. So if they're trying to do a comeback, going for the ultimate crossover, giving us the cinematic universe of wrestling we've been teased, could really save them. And I might get to see fucking Naito! Los Ignorables. AEW.
I certainly think that doing a Bullet Club MCU is a really good idea, tying all...
They've brought Chaos multi-motion now, because Chaos is the biggest faction of faces in the NJPW and always has been. That's where your Ibushis, your Tanahashis, your Okadas, your best friends when they were over there.
Yeah.
Cross-factional Chaos versus Bullet Club. As long as we get Suzuki-gun and Los Ignorables.
Well, I mean, the problem is we are kind of getting that already with the best friends versus the Elite. And currently it's not going as well as it could be for a good long-standing feud. I haven't watched Rampage yet.
I can't say anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it.
So, shall we move on?
Reviews?
Should we see
podcast.
what we thought of Dynamite?
Disgusting.
So again, I think I'm Captain Positive this week. Fucking hell, I am Captain. I'm really positive this week.
I'm relatively positive.
So JR, Schiavone, Excalibur on commentary. It opens with CM Punk sitting in the centre of the ring. He calls out MJF, who comes out. Cut a promo. Thoughts and scores, Mr. Strange?
Good old Phil. He did his startup thing where he compared himself to his early self to MJF with the, I'm straight edge and I'm better than you, and that's why no one likes straight edge people. One of the fans out there was shouted, so he hated Phil how I hate Adam Cole. He's like, boo, shut up, Phil. I'm like, oh, mate, he's doing a promo. He's the face. Leave him alone. Anyway, good promo. I like the Valentine's box. As much as I'm not a fan of meme matches and it's a collar match. Phil did an M. Bison line from the Street Fighter movie that made me laugh quite a lot. For me, it was a Friday. I assume you've seen the Street Fighter movie, Morg. Oh, he's dying. He's fucking dying.
It's been a long time since I watched the Street Fighter movie.
It's what M. Bison says to Chun-Li. When I came to your village, it was the most important day of your life. Oh, it made me laugh. I've got one final note, which is what my partner said to me during the end of it, which was he couldn't bite the chain properly because of his vegan teeth, which made me piss a little bit. It was good to see. I'm excited for it. I want to see the end of this feud. Not that it's dragging, but, it's gone on for a while now. It's time for Phil to get his win back, put blah, blah, blah in his place. So, good wrestling. I enjoyed it.
So I gave it a high B. I really enjoyed this.
Nice.
That could be me and the Raptor. Really enjoyed this. Liked all the stuff about it. Couple of the reasons I really liked it, and I will be honest, they're nostalgia. So I'm quite happy to step down because there are two. One, it opened with Punk sitting cross-legged in the ring, which is the.
He does that all the time.
Yes, but the very specific. It is that iconic pipe, but that then followed with the "Hello, my name's CM Punk. I'm straight edge," which means I don't do drugs. Means I'm better than you, which he does do when he's a heel. Heel straight edge. Means I'm better than you. So yeah, I popped very early for this. And then I'm not a fan of dog collar matches normally, but considering, except we are 100% good dog collar matches in AEW.
That is true.
So,
but I don't take one as
that's the problem. But they've done one.
The chinging was.
They've done one and it's good. So hopefully, and I think Punk and MJF have already proved that they can. They've got chemistry. So I am quietly hopeful. Following on from that, we had a Jurassic Express promo.
Jungle Boy talked a little bit, then his dad took over. I don't want to seem rude, but it's getting to the level of Adam Cole now. I have to watch this every week. Every week I have to watch.
Are we sure that because it is dangerous when the Luchasaurus goes threesome? I mean, that was. I almost expected you to be coming out and going, yeah, it was shit, but I gave it an S due to that.
It was fine. It's
wrestling.
Stuff,
it's wrestling.
Give him a break. Just I am obsessed with the Hook. He is a little anime character who walks out, fights like an MMA person, and pisses off every other week. A week off. He doesn't.
It's the thing is, it's building versus built, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's building versus built. Jurassic Express are built. They are the tag team champions in the division that is supposed to be, and probably is, because it's cared about and the people you've got in it, the best tag team division in the four main. So I appreciate where you're coming from. The problem is it's Hook they're building. But yeah, they've got a lot of wrestlers. Then, Bryan Danielson versus Lee Moriarty. Bryan wins with the triangle sleeper. We'll go on to what happened after. What did you think of the match, and what score did you give it?
Shockingly, I had a good time, as I can tell from the fact you're having a subtle smile at my reaction when you did it. Yeah, wrestling, technical wrestling, and it didn't pause for the start. And loads of good little bits of heel work from B-Dan, just being a twat. Little bits of stomps, a few extra holds, facial. Oh, I love him. Moriarty got a wonderful showing, and pure strikes, knees to the face, beating all round. Daniel takes control in picture-in-picture, and I was like, oh no, it's the time I get annoyed with. But Moriarty still fought back in picture-in-picture. An exchange. I didn't quite like the weird legs together, standing on their hands, slapping each other bit. It was a bit weird for me, but then it went straight into a lovely struggle afterwards. He gets fired up to an exchange with blows with Big D. Hey boy, don't start throwing straight punches with the B down. There were a couple of mini botches where they didn't quite style through a move, but they completely styled it out afterwards and just made it look fine, and Moriarty gets some control. And we got the fucking stomps that I love. So brutal. And the posing with his submission. We had story in, story out. Great match. A young lad over B-Dan's character. Not sure it meets an A by my own definition. I gave it a high B because I had a fucking great time, and what I love in wrestling was in this match.
I haven't got a lot of notes about this.
Ooh.
It was a B. I gave it the same as you. I gave it almost exactly. This was a great wrestling match.
Wasn't it?
This was really good. And God, he made Lee Moriarty look good, which we knew he would, because that. And again, this I
professional.
I was thinking this at the time. It goes back to that comedy thing I was saying before about Punk and Bryan, where you've got Punk's there. His character is going, oh, I'm here to put over all the young guys, and he's doing so. And then Bryan's going, no, I'm not. I'm here to kick their asses and put them all over.
He's so good.
He was so good. So then, Bryan in ring after match promo, where he calls out Mox, and Mox comes out and cuts his promo. Thoughts and scores on the promo?
This is why I don't trust the American public with anything. Oh, my sides. Oh, I love him. I was like, one of my first notes is, I wonder if Mox will DDT him. Because I was like, this is where Mox comes out, goes, and DDTs him, which is what we're used to. And he didn't. And Weird Mox is back. My favourite Mox. I'm not a fan of, I just beat people up Mox. I like him to do his, his fucking weirdo bullshit. Wrestling universe continuity. They brought back up things of the past. I have never beat him in this country, and blah, blah, blah. Mox did really well. Ruth and I were chanting Kiss over the whole, what if we got married, Moxley? What if we got married and adopted 3 beautiful sons? Not because I didn't respect what was going on, just because that's what plays in my head. And obviously they're going to fight for it, for the plot of will they open Cobra Bry, which is what I've stolen from one of our fans on YouTube. Thank you for that. That's mine now. I gave this a B. I'm very excited for this. I think they have seen where fans wanted to go with it, seen the younger wrestlers going, this is cool, as opposed to going, nah, Mox just beats him, or says no, or yes, they're together. They've expanded the story. They've brought up the past. I know where it's coming from. I know where it's going. Cotton Eye Joe. B.
Yeah, B. Really enjoyed this. I think we're going to have a fallout on a later one. Yeah, this was good. I really, really enjoyed this promo. And it's, so what are they doing? Is it going to be, are they now going to fight together? Have they got to fight against each other? When Mox said he's got to bleed with him, does it mean, are they going to have to do both? Is Bryan, and I'm loving this dynamic. I really want this faction to happen. I'm quite happy with it having half face, half heel. I am going to add the third player in. I think they do need to get. I think you do get Punk in on this next, because he hasn't got much else to do now. You turn Mox and you turn Punk.
I wouldn't be against it, but it's a lot of eggs in one basket for your
That's fair.
drawing guys.
That's fair. And to be fair, that only works if MJF isn't the next champion. One of these three would have to beat Hangman.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and as much as I'd like to see one of those three as I'd like to see Mox get a second, and I'd like to see Bryan or Punk get one last world title run. I really want MJF to be the guy that beats Hangman. After that, I'm kind of...
You can train their students in Cobra, bro. Your old boys can pick somebody and be like, yeah.
Oh, well, I've already told you who I want them to steal, and you don't like it.
Was it?
I want them to steal Hook. I think Hook would fit in. With those three much bigger names, it would propel him.
Dan is clearly training him anyway. He doesn't need the in-character rub.
I don't know.
He doesn't need an in-character rub. He's the most over wrestler I've seen in a decade, from walking out to a ring, not saying anything, and having anime hair.
Right, moving on. Keith Lee video promo. Any thoughts?
Didn't do a lot for me, but it's fine. So.
Yeah, Then we had Wardlow with Sean Spears versus Max Caster with Anthony Bowens in a Face of the Revolution ladder match qualifier. God, this is...
Revolution.
Wardlow wins with the Powerbomb Symphony. Thoughts and scores?
This was actually, I'd say, one of Wardlow's best matches. Weirdly. I was a little bit disappointed that Max could only do a cheap pop rap as opposed to one of his normal, little bit edgier worked ones. It was just the crowd is bad, and I was like, ah. And he does his comedy healing. A little bit disappointed the match went straight into picture-in-picture, which was slow, but it let Max trick Wardlow into the step, so he actually had a bangy knee for the thing. And a bit of a fight. In saving Max from the powerbomb and all the different ways out of the powerbomb was really good, and the giving him the chain was actually really subtly done. It was nice to see a few powerbomb escapes on Wardlow, basically. He starts doing the powerbombs. He's getting more charisma. He made the one more time thing to the crowd this time, and they cheered it, and he did that before he went into it. So he's learning some charisma, which is nice. Then Bowens attacked him, and he did the most ragdoll, biggest powerbomb I think I've ever seen in my life. I was like, is Bowens dead? He just hurled him. So, as much as it's a Wardlow match, I gave it a C. As opposed to all of other Wardlow's D matches, I went, yeah, bit of character work, bit of back and forth. Better.
It isn't the first time we've given Wardlow a C. It's only recently that he's been getting them because they've been doing the squash push with him.
Yeah,
because they keep putting him in matches that he's not allowed to win. It's true. He couldn't win against Cody. He couldn't win against Punk. So they've kind of screwed him. Yeah, basically he's turning face. He's starting to... So he's developing his little face things. So the one more time chant, that will be his thing. These are all nice little touches and a nice little setup to your face turn. There was something else I know. He's only wrestling heels again.
Yep, good move. Correct way to turn
exactly the same thing as they're doing with Hook. In that they just... Even if you're going to keep him as this badass tweener, which is what Hook is, you have him wrestle heels.
Majority heels, but as a tweener, mostly, he can stomp.
Yes, but mostly, you still want to watch your tweener. He needs to get... Weirdly, he needs to be able to get babyface sympathy, even as a tweener. It's just the fact he's a badass. But yeah, Wardlow, I think, are doing a really good job of his turn. I gave it a low C, just because it was just a little bit, but it was a C. It just not my type of match overall. But
I didn't hate it. I think
I
was just excited to see a full match out of Wardlow for the first time in a while.
Yes, and I'm sure he got really good marks before. Then we had a Britain Mercedes promo. Any thoughts?
Just here for haters' face, if I'm honest. I love my lioness, and the fact she doesn't do the DMD. I've written down some dude showed up, and that's right. If they didn't tell me who it was till near the end of the show, it's man who runs the gym for Cobra Kai.
Yeah, did you not recognise him?
I've not watched Karate Kid since I was like 7.
Oh, fair enough. It used to be one of my regular watches. I love that film. It's one of my
So I was
all-time.
like, if they'd have gone, it's this guy that we've got a new sensei, and some old dude walked on, and I went, oh, I assume it's some guy from like 1992 Dub, and Morg will laugh at me for not knowing who he is. I hated it. I hate the fact there's Cobra Kai, man. I hate the fact they're taking him in kayfabe like he's actually a martial arts person. Bugged me. But not for me. 3-ring circus, as you say. I won't get mad about it.
So Raptor just went, who's he? I told her, we thought it was a good way of using a celebrity, just really subtle, but he kept his character, and I quite liked that, because you didn't have him there to be the actor, you had him there to be the character, if that makes sense. You didn't.
I think we're on different sides of this, but that's fine.
Yeah, for me, he was there as a Cobra Kai crossover, almost. That's how it felt to me. Right, moving on. Oh, here we go.
Man Pogs.
This is where it's going to get interesting. Adam Page in-ring interview is interrupted by Adam Cole. And then Page is jumped by Red Dragon and Cole. What did you think of the segment up until the jumping, and what score did you give it?
Obviously, my first comment is, oh, cool, it's Adam Cole. You've beat Danielson and Omega and Lance, but now you'll have to fight me. Oh, no. Oh no, I've beat 2 of the best wrestlers in the world and a giant murder Texan, but now I get to fight 5'9" of Noodly Man. The fear! Hangman come back. This made me like Hangman more, and I already like Hangman. Better fucking lose. I was like, my final notes are, oh no, it was shenanigans. Why is he fighting security? And there was a huge wobbly. I gave it a C. I hate the premise, the principle. I hate Adam Cole. I'm sick of him. Quite like Red Dragon. It'd be nice if they got to do anything other than stomp people for Adam Cole and stand on a fucking ramp. I gave it a C out of fairness. It was fine wrestling. The story is advancing. The characters were the characters. And I fucking loathe him.
So yeah,
it's not worked heat either. This isn't like he's earned my hate as a character.
No, he's got X-Pac heat with you. Go away heat. High C. It was good. Raptor really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the playback promo. I loved Hangman's comeback about.
Yeah, his comeback was
which this is one of the things you have to remember about Cole as well. Just because I have to play balance to your amount of hatred for him. One of the things about him is the fact that had he not been under contract to Dub Z, he would have been there at the beginning. He'd have been one of the people that would have left New Japan and gone to do AEW. I mean,
could have got my hatred
Britt
out.
Was there. But I don't. You probably wouldn't have had it then, because he'd have been He'd have been one of the originators. Following on from that, Jericho and Hager versus Proud and Powerful with Eddie Kingston. Proud and Powerful win, and then Jericho and Eddie brawl. Thoughts and scores?
Yeah, cheeky Eddie. I love Eddie's little banker, borderline heel Eddie. He's back to the manipulative douche he was when he was first brought in, by the look of it. And we got a lovely, fast, fighty start, and Santana looks great. Hager looks fucking beastly. He's ripped right back over. Ruth turned to me and she went, why is he just shouting why at him? And I was like, don't you remember he's monosyllabic from when the old promos, which brought me joy. I was a little bit sad that Ortiz ate shit for all of picture-in-picture, but that seems to be Ortiz's role in the team. It gave Jericho and Hager.
Yeah, unfortunately, Santana is the hot tag for that team. It's just what, and Ortiz is so. I mean, they're both good at selling, but Ortiz is really good at sympathy selling. So they're just hurt by how good they are at particular things. Sorry, carry on.
It's all right. And Jericho and Hager get the heel heat. Mostly Jericho playing the heel in this, and Hager more playing the I'm on the baddie side sort of role. +5 health from the break ending gives Santana a hot tag, and it's great, but Jericho stops it. There was a great catch where Ortiz caught Jericho's leg when he went for the moonsault, and Santana jumped up next to him and Russian leg sweeped him. That was fucking sick and perfectly timed. I did like the fact Jericho kicked out the Street Sweeper, which is their tag team 2-man finisher. And then Jericho kicks Kingston and Santana wins with a lariat, which I'm a little bit confused by. It's not a move I know Santana for.
Yeah, to be fair, that's why it's just down as proud and powerful win, because I was like, I don't think I want to admit that he just clotheslined him.
It was a good clothesline,
yeah,
but good story, good match, very hot, build on both sides, so technically it should cross into a B by my own rules and category, which are as accurate as any star system. But I feel more like a high C. High C or low B I'd be willing to go for, but
I went high C.
I'll go with you. Let's take your call on this one, as opposed to my regularly biased opinion towards myself.
Yeah, no, I went high C. I thought it was a really good match, but I agree with you. I don't think it quite crossed over into a B. For me, I don't always take into account story in and story out, though. Do you know what? Might have to give it a low B. I think we're going to have to give it a low B because I've given it a high C just on the match, the physical match. Yeah, and there is story in and story out. It runs by the rules of what a B should be, but I don't think the match was good enough to pull it.
No, it wasn't.
The story in, story out is what pulls it across the finishing line.
Sounds like we're being negative. It was a
really good match. And I enjoyed this, and I enjoyed the Jericho Eddie brawl. Because it's
looking forward to that.
Let two people who know how to do a brawl, and it looks so much better. Right, we then have Cole, Red Dragon, and Bucks promo.
I'll just write down my 3 lines to you and let you grade it. Can they coexist? Cool, Adam Cole versus 10. I don't care, I'm biased. I'm just gonna let you
it was just a wrestling promo. The best bit about it was the ending with Brandon going, "So which way are you going, Cole?"
Yeah, that was
really good, and I liked that. But yeah, it was just wrestling. Right.
Oh.
Yeah, you ready? Mercedes Martinez versus Thunder Rosa in a hardcore match, where apparently this is a no DQ match where submissions can get stopped by you touching the rope.
I didn't even notice that.
I did. Rosa wins with the Fire Thunder Driver on the chairs. We'll go with what happened afterwards, but what did you think of the match and what score did you give the match?
Right, something felt a bit off with this match. It was good, but there was something a bit off. We opened with Rosa spanking Mercedes on the bum with a chair, which made me laugh. I was like, what an opening beatdown, just slap her to the ring. And then we had Mercedes thrown into a barrier that went over and looked a bit fucking unsafe, if you ask me. Not sure how that happened. A standard crowd beating, Rosa winning. There's a lot of Rosa winning in this match, which is fine. Into picture-in-picture pretty much not far into the match, granting Mercedes the heel power to great control, but Rosa's too powerful and takes control back before the permitted end of break period, allowing her to fuck about with a table for so long, and it was broke, so she put it at an angle, which seemed dangerous, but she took the bump, so if you set it up and you're going through it, fair cop. Anyway, the break ending gave Martinez back her health, which was a bit strange. We'd reversed the usual roles, and it didn't last longer, and Rosa returns to kicking the shit out of her. Spider German suplex from the turnbuckle Martinez does is fucking brutal. I watched that and went, I genuinely like a little bit, I hope she's alright. And there was some fucking oof slams to the end. It didn't feel much like a hardcore match to me. Not like a match that had some chairs and a table bump in it, but 90% of AEW matches have a table bump in it. A small note, the bell table made it through this episode of Dynamite. Every time they went outside, I was like, I'm for the bell table. I tweeted about this.
I feel that we need a one of those number things now that you can point to every time that the bell table goes, and we'll add another number to it. I'll have to learn some tricks in see if I can work out how to do it.
I gave this a C. It was all good. I think Rosa needs to learn to give her opponents a little bit more control. Didn't feel much like a hardcore match. I don't think hardcore no DQ really added anything to this, other than the fact they didn't get counted out. Give it a C. It was good. It was wrestling. I think I was underwhelmed in a way. What did you give it? Come on.
I gave it a low B. I enjoyed this match.
It was good.
I thought it was good. I didn't notice as much you did the Thunder, but again, I don't. Those kind of things, how much control somebody has doesn't affect unless they're telling a story in a certain way. So those things don't necessarily affect. Yeah, I enjoyed this. I thought I was really good. Having given them, I think I'm going to have to reverse what I did on the last one. I'm going to swap the last two scores around. I'm going to say probably actually it's probably a high C from me rather than, so it is still a C.
I could go with that.
Yeah. Because I did enjoy it. I remember enjoying the match, and I know me and Raptor didn't talk a lot through it. And we noticed this when we were watching Elimination Chamber. We didn't talk through Becky and Lita, which was probably the match of the night on Elimination Chamber. Well, yeah, you know who Lita is.
I do know who Lita is. I fancied her as a teenager.
Yes. You and every other alternative male who watched wrestling, and quite a few who didn't.
I went for Trish as well. Let's not put down good old Miss Stratus.
Oh no, Trish was my wrestler. Lita was my crush.
Both.
I was totally not Trish's demographic though, because she was obviously the, she was the sports fitness type of.
I've got a certain demographic I'm okay with.
Right, so following on from that, we had a House of Black promo. Thoughts?
So we did. Yeah, he's great. Didn't see what card he put up, but I hope it's Julia. I gave it a B. I've got no comments on it other than I'm enjoying it. We've got Blind Justice. Obviously, that's Pac. We've got whatever Enter's becoming. I watched the promo, even though I missed it last time for you. I'm enjoying all of this. It's got great character work. It's a little bit more cinematic. Characters over as fuck. It's got story and somewhere to go. Mystic bullshit for your gothiness. Gothiness. I forget which side you're on.
Yeah, that's right.
B. I've just slapped myself in the dick with a pen.
Yeah.
The die that good.
Sorry.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Pretty spooky.
Yeah, B. It was good. It was great. I don't know who the figure was behind, but it annoyed the Raptor that we didn't get to see it. I have a feeling it's Blake Murphy, which that's going to be a bit. He just doesn't have the character background to suddenly, but he's got a good look. So, and he's a good wrestler. So we'll see what happens. But I think Blake Murphy's the big name that everyone's expecting to appear next.
Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Blake Murphy. Buddy Murphy.
Used me there, Morg.
Following on from that, we had a Jay White promo.
Briefly explained who he is, which is going to be a problem because he's a phenomenal wrestler. You'll hear his many titles in the future, but seeing as his gimmick is, I'm a twat. Oh, I'm fucking hateable. Oh, look at me. Or, oh, I'm a fun one. His gimmick is, I'm a twat. Takes a little while to get used to him, but I gave it a C. At least an explanation for who he is.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. It was okay. It was wrestling. And then we had... Just need to clear my throat. I may have put this up a bit too much now. Darby Allin versus Sami Guevara. Sami wins with the GTH after Andrade hits Darby with the tablet. After that, we had shenanigans. Matt Hardy runs in, beat down on Darby. Andrade blindsides Sami with the tablet. What do you think of the match and everything, and what score did you give it?
As much as Darby isn't my favourite wrestler, I've got all the time in the world for his fucking matches. He's great. He always starts hot, and this match starts hot with great grappling, because that's what Darby makes you do in a match. Which sometimes Sami lacks in, shall we say. We get a really good buckle fight with a ridiculous bump for Darby, obviously giving Sami control to hang Darby on the ropes for a really long time so he could scent on him. He was hung there for quite a while. I noticed that. Family brutally beats on Darby for all of the first picture-in-picture, and Darby instantly powers up with the break ending. with that face health bonuses and catches some fucking serious receipts on Sami. They were battering each other. It was wonderful. We got a Spanish fly from the buckle, and I obviously always pop for a Spanish fly. We had a figure 4 spot. I was shouting, roll it over, obviously. Figure 4 pain apparently worked, just wore off halfway through so they could slap each other in the face. Loads of cool sequences and counters. The tope into the cutter wasn't perfectly done. Looked like Darby caught himself a little bit because he had to go slower to be caught as opposed to fucking cannonballing himself into the crowd. But it was still cool, and camera work helped as well. Then Sami sent on himself onto the apron, so F for his spine in a couple of years. That's what you get. Additional Andrade spot. And oh no, an accidentally dirty win because Sami didn't realise. Didn't necessarily like the finish. Obviously, Sami had to win. It wasn't time for Darby to get that title back. Still gave it a B. Lots of story. Really enjoyed the match. Really good.
Yeah, I think I think Sami's losing it to Andrade, possibly in a triple threat at Revolution. I was saying this to the Raptor. AEW haven't done a lot of triple threats. And I said at the time, I said, Strange will point out about 6 that I've forgotten about. There's only one I can think of, which is Cassidy, Kenny, Pac. So they feel quite fresh in AEW. There hasn't been a glut of them. I can't think
any more off the top of my head.
Yeah, there hasn't been a glut of them.
You're safe from my pedantry.
I think a triple threat for the TNT with these 3. And let's be honest, yeah, triple threats are great with your main event guys, but it's your mid-card title guys. That's where you want all the breaking each other up. And I think it'll be a chance for Andrade to shine. I also gave it a B. I really enjoyed this. I have a feeling, I think this is my match of the night.
Definitely. As I said,
yeah.
I wasn't too keen on the finish, but I really think Darby brings out the best in Sami. A lot of times I'll complain about Sami going, oh, he's holding his ribs for 90 minutes, then goes up on top and goes, and flips through the air. Whereas Darby went, no, we're wrestling at 90 miles an hour and just fucking hit him. Grappling! I don't do grappling slams! Ah!
Right, so what's our overall for Dynamite?
Got one of those things where it could be a low B or a high C.
Fuck Adam Cole.
I think for B a B. I think it's a high C this week. I think everything was good and solid and cool, and the end was really tight. Whereas last week went the other way. Went, oh, this show really felt like a B as much as we're on the ball at Bounders. I feel this time it more pulls back towards a high C. I think there was a few more niggly criticism. Not to say I didn't have a great time. It's a high C. Wrestling, story, everything you should enjoy. But I don't feel it quite had that pop anywhere that really takes it into the next category for me.
Right. Are you ready to fly solo?
I am. Am I doing the whole thing solo?
You're going to have to, because I haven't watched it yet.
Awesome.
Right, so the deal is, apparently, I'm going to sit in, and before we get to the main event, I'm going to take my earbuds out. And when you finish doing your review, you'll have to give me the 2 thumbs up. So I know to come back on. Yeah.
Give me the sign.
Give me the sign so I know to come back on. But I'll obviously be here for...
it's like he's saying, kiss me.
Colour commentating.
Okay, well, I say jump out well and let me know when you're going. Anyway, it's time for Friday night's Adam Cole. We open with Taz, Starks, Jericho, and Excalibur on commentary. And the first match is Adam Cole versus 10. Ace. Adam Cole wins with the boom. I wrote this down before the match started. No surprises there. Starts with 10 overpowering Cole, big and strong versus small, which is the best way to do this. Cole does a steps knee slam on 10, giving him the heel control and limb work, which he continued. So +1 for that, I guess. Break ending obviously gives 10 enough hit points for him to fly back into his comeback. And we got not 1, but 2 Panama Sunrise counters. It didn't even happen in the match. I fucking hate that move. 10 looked really good in this match. 10 got put over by fucking Adam Cole for it, as much as this is. He looked good. He looked strong. Then Cole kicks him in the dick to escape his full Nelson and wins. Let's see. Story in, story out. It was solid despite my boredom watching it and hatred of Adam Cole. But I have to put aside and realise that's my bias. Then we had an MJF Punk catch-up. Nothing you're missing there. You know all that story. Just one of their cinematic things. Music played. That was nice. Then we had a match I actually really quite enjoyed. Martin versus Hobbs. Hobbs wins with, I've written down, a seismic spine buster. I have never seen a spine buster so big as the one that ended this match. It went up like this. Like, I was like, holy shit. Looks like a Hobbs is going to get the opening star because he does a few fast slams, but Dante just uses speed to keep Hobbs on the back step. Rope pull as he goes for a flippy outside thing, gives the heel heat spot to Hobbs so he can have control for picture-in-picture. Break ends, doesn't instantly repower Dante, which was nice. Hobbs misses an exposed knee drop, giving Dante actual comeback, and there's knee work then. He's being slowed down. Wonderful, and Dante can do all of his stupid spin through the air, flip off this, bounce off that, all the great stuff he does. And Hobbs overpowers him on an Irish whip and hits him with the biggest spine buster I've ever seen. That thing could have ended the dinosaur eras. And I gave it a C. Good match. Next is Tony talking with Jade and Mark, wrestling things. She was like, who am I wrestling next? Hardy brings out the bunny for the next match, and they said money a lot. Then we had Deeb's 5-minute challenge. Angelica Risk was her no intro opponent. A lot of technical stuff with Deeb doing the slow smug heel shit. She even did the heel head raise on a pin, which I'm always a fan of. And then she does the Serenity Lock and wins. Squash. I like the idea. I'm waiting for it to be a named person now. And
it's as I said, this is a segment. It's not a match.
I haven't D'd it. I've only seen. I've seen it. I like the idea.
Yeah.
We have a Cobra Bry catch up. Thank you to that fan for that. You know the standard catch up. Loved it. Oh, take out your earbuds.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Earbuds are going out now.
Right. Fans, boys, everybody. We have the interview for Jay White versus Trent Beretta. Jay being a twat, obviously getting his character over, and we get a good plot explanation of what he's doing. Trent is being Trent, calls him a knife pervert, which is their old nickname they gave him in NJP dub, and it was always a fave. It was solid. And the match, my match of the week. Faces, I felt bad for Trent. Trent needs a win. I've bitched about this last few weeks. I'm going to continue to bitch about Trent not getting wins. Jay White wins with the Blade Runner, which is just a better Crossroads. Lovely pace start, which we expect from NJPW boys. Jay showing he's a bell end. Just some nice sequences exchange. Japan chop, solid selling from both of them. Jay does a hello ladies as he slams Trent into some repeated slams between the apron and the barrier. It was great. Trent does his outside spear because he can only do them outside except for that one time. And could get some more control briefly before he suplexed out of the ring to the outside. Not something to do to a man who's just had a neck injury, if you ask me. And then we get a bit of a break. Jay does some slow heel work, bit of character work. And he did a very bendy Mutalock, which I quite enjoyed. Trent's come back with a brutal fucking buckle slam. And a massive springboard moonsault to the outside, which Jay only just caught him from, which was a bit rough. More great exchanges. They've got loads of chemistry. They both look strong. It's why you pick Trent to fight a Japan man. They counters Trent's spear with a fucking knee to the face, and it looked like he'd executed him. More exchanges as Trent goes for another comeback. Some NJPW solid punch swapping at the end as they beat each other in the fucking face. Then Jay does this wicked counter into the Blade Runner, which is a better Crossroads for the win. Gave it a B. It would be a high B. I'm sick of Trent losing, and I'm not sure everybody else will be as over, have Jay White as over them as I am. But everybody looked strong, and after the match, Jay White took the piss out of Cassidy because he's a twat. I love Jay White. No, you can cut. Not looking. He's not looking. Kiss me! Kiss me!
I was just checking that we hadn't got any messages through on the email.
No worries.
I took a very quick then. Oh, I know. I'll just check that we haven't got any messages on the email.
No! It's another high C at the end of Rampage.
Ooh.
I had a good time. I I can't say anything else, but overall, it's a high C in AEW wrestling. We've a lot of good stories, a lot of good matches, just a few things that have brought it back down to stop it from crossing into the great category. But you don't necessarily need the great category in your weekly wrestling. We had a lot of great stuff, a lot of okay stuff. Good times.
Right, and that's it for this week's show. Just a short show this week with our reviews because we're missing Mo. Get well soon, Mo. So yeah, if you want to send us any messages, I've just checked the Gmail and nobody sent us any messages. Come on, Wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, WrestleOP1 on Twitter. I want to thank Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. You can find us as Wrestleopinionated on Anchor.fm, Anchor.fm, Spotify, YouTube and Twitch, where we stream the show live, usually every Monday and usually at some time between 4-ish.
6.
Over to you, Mr. Strange.
Please send us some shit. We love interacting with stuff. You can get all the things Morg said. I like talking bullshit. It's my speciality. So yeah, please like, share, subscribe, pass this on to 20 friends or you'll die in your sleep. Click the little star button, the little thingy button. Engage with us in any way and we'll engage back because it drives up those numbers. So thank you for listening. I very much hearing the sound of my own voice. Back to you, Morg.
And all that's left to be said is goodbye and good night.